Welcome to Reparenting Daily, your free daily guide for inner child healing and repairing the relationship with yourself. This podcast helps you establish a consistent reparenting routine and is divided into 3 sections. The first is the daily reading, the second is a discussion of the reading, followed by suggested journal prompts, and the last section is peaceful binaural beats meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. I'm so glad that you could join us on this journey of self-expansion. If this is your first time here, welcome. As a celebration of passing episode 700, I've opened a free membership tier for the Patreon community so you can access additional resources and join the weekly Zoom calls for free. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now and that so many people are really struggling. My hope here is to still encourage others to continue the work on reparenting and to offer a free community where people can come together and do that. I'd also like to thank all of you who've been along on the journey so far. Just as a reminder, this is a free podcast, but you can support the project by purchasing the Reparenting Daily Journal, where you can follow us along all year. This 333-page journal gives you extra insight and resources for each week, and also provides space for you to keep your notes. Another way to support the podcast is to purchase the Fairy Tales for Reparenting series, volumes 1 through 3. This collection organizes famous and obscure fairy tales from around the world into the 3 phases of the hero's journey. While you might think that fairy tales are for kids, I'd like to challenge you. These stories contain profound truths and lessons carried down over millennia that we can use in our reparenting journey. It's a fun way to reconnect with your inner child. Each volume comprises 10 fairy tales. They include an analysis section to help you dive deeper into the message, as well as journal prompts and space to reflect on the story's meaning in your life. Lastly, you can also support the project by taking a paid Patreon subscription, by purchasing the books on the website, or by donating via Buy Me a Coffee. You can find all this information on the Support Us section of the website. So now, with these announcements out of the way, let's dive into today's practice. Hey guys, congratulations for reaching episode 700. We're making our way today almost at 2 full years of reparenting and daily lessons. Just as a reminder, we're in March. The theme for this month is building self-trust and confidence. We're in week 4, and the theme for this week is trusting your intuition. Today, we're going to be listening to a portion of a lecture entitled How to Solve Yourself by Vernon, who is an American teacher, philosopher, author, and spiritual guide. His lectures have come to my attention within the past few weeks and have really made a strong impact in the worldview and self-image that I'm developing. His work ties directly into reparenting and will be very beneficial for you in understanding how we move towards self-trust and build authentic confidence by way of trusting our intuition. In this episode, we explore a powerful idea. What if the reason that we struggle to trust ourselves is because we were taught early on to rely on a mind that isn't always clear or truthful? You see, much of our doubt, hesitation, and inner conflict comes from conditioned thinking that we didn't choose, patterns we've absorbed over time that kept us second-guessing instead of listening inward. And before we can truly trust our intuition, we have to begin noticing how often our thoughts are driven by fear, habit, or the need for control. This week's theme, Trusting Your Intuition, invites a different approach, not forcing confidence, but gently observing ourselves with honesty. As we become more aware of our automatic reactions, something begins to shift. Beneath the noise, a quieter, steadier guidance begins to emerge. Access to our true self. Building self-trust starts here, by acknowledgement and acceptance. Not by trying harder, but simply by gaining more clarity. So without further ado, here's Vernon Howard.
Begin to change your definition of what your life is. If you call it that sad event of 6 months ago, if you call it that, then that will take you over and it will control you. That's not life. That's sadness. That's being trapped. That's not living from your real nature at all. Now, let's go back to the point where I said that your true life consists of you understanding that there is a small part in you that is capable of being developed. And when it develops fully, it has complete power over everything that you're wrongly attached to. You know those people. You know those activities. You know that alcohol. You know that those compulsions you have, those habits you have. This real nature which you can develop has complete power over that. Now, how are you going to find out for yourself whether this is true or not? One way, right? For you to understand that you have to do something for you that is completely different from what you've done before. No more drifting downstream in the canoe. No more playing it safe inside your little closet. Come out. Come out and be blasted by the world if necessary. You are anyway, but you don't feel it, you don't see it. Because you've protected yourself behind your delusions of saying, I'm strong, I've got religious beliefs, I've got friends, I've got money, I've got a home. You have nothing at all. Whoa. Yes, you have something. It's called lack of true purpose in life. It's called stumbling. It's called being afraid. It's called being lost. Go back to a thought of just a minute ago. There's a certain part of you that is very arrogant, that insists it has it made. And it is so insistent that it argues with anyone or anything that tries to correct it. This new growth that I talked about begins with you right in the middle of your angers and pretenses, catching them and seeing them as angers and pretenses, and seeing that that is the enemy that prevents you from being a happy human being. You're not happy. None of you are. You're not happy at all. How can you be happy with all that bitterness you have? How can you be happy when you sense that tomorrow you're going to do something very foolish that's going to get you into trouble? How can you be happy when you feel at the mercy of other people, to whom you attribute strength, by the way, and they have no strength at all? You want to attribute it to them for one false reason or another, but they're not strong at all. They're just as weak as you are. If you can catch yourself right in the middle of pretending that you know what your life is and what it's all about, if you can catch yourself in the middle of pretense, it will give you a great shock. It will be a blow. It will be a blow happily to your vanity. Where there is pretense, there is vanity. There is conceit. Where there is conceit, there is fear. Where there is fear, there is weakness. Where there is weakness, there is defeat. And I am telling you, you don't have to live another day like this at all. I don't know why. Yes, I know why. I'll ask you, why do you accept daily defeat as a way of life for you? You are accepting it, and I tell you to stop it. Right now. Not one more day. You can say that. I'm giving it to you. I'm telling you what to do, what to say, how to proceed to start this new growth. You can do it, and you had better. If you don't, that wicked, vicious world out there, observing, understanding your weakness, will pounce on you without mercy and carry you off. And the reason you know that that is true is because that's been the story of your life. How many times have you been betrayed by so-called good people? How many times have you been cast aside by so-called strong people who are going to lead you, who are going to give you happiness in this relationship or whatever? Isn't it curious that human beings are incapable of learning? You are. You just don't learn. You just don't see the lessons that come to you 100 times a day. The main lesson, that there's something wrong with you. Now you say that's simple. I know there's something wrong with you. You say you don't know it. What you do is complain. What you do is cry. What you do is look around for someone you think is stronger than you. But you never learn the lesson, which is this. Admitted weakness, admitted stupidity, admitted aimlessness, admitted can begin the process of this new growth in which you have real strength, in which you have a true aim, in which you know exactly what to do to get rid of this mad world, both inside you and outside. And that's where you start. Don't you have anything to do with the world out there. Don't you try to change the insane asylum. It's not going to change. You go out and try to cure it. It will get you. What you have to do is begin to work on your own confusions, to see that your life has been nothing but chaos. Admit it, and that's the beginning of change. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. You think about it when I give it to you. What in life do you truly love? I'll tell you. If you don't know, I'll tell you what you love. Your true love now, your true love is the way you now think. You love the way you now think. Your true love is what you now value. Poor, pathetic people that you are. Your true love now is what you value. What do you value? You value quarreling. You value suffering. You value the very confusion that you say you want to abolish. Never forget what I'm going to tell you next. Now, presently, you love what you are. That is your true love. How tragic. This is also called self-love. It's also called self-conceit. It's also called a love for self-reference. It's also called a love for destruction. How honest can you be while I am talking to you right now? If I was to ask you whether your life is ascending, I mean spiritually, not financially, which is ridiculous. If I was to ask you whether your life is ascending or descending spiritually, what would you answer? You see, you'd have a problem with even such a simple question as that, because you've never even given a thought to a thing like that. All you think about is your ego protection. All you think about is how you're going to appear respectable to other people. All you think about is how to perfect the act. And the act in front of your own eyes, as well as the audience out there of other people that you want to impress in order to get something from them. Have you ever noticed that you become an observer of your own stage performances, telling yourself that you're right, and then insisting that you are? You see, I better tell you right now that you're not right. Matter of fact, you're all wrong. Now, isn't it strange that I have to tell you that you're all wrong? How pathetic that I have to tell you that you're all wrong. And why do I have to do it? Because you won't. That's the last thing that this false nature of yours is going to admit. And that false nature that has taken over and tyrannized your life, that false nature is working far more underground, unseen by you than you know. And I tell you, you had better begin to arouse the sleeping intelligence that you have in order to detect it, in order for you to see that not only are you wrong, but there's only one person on the face of this earth who is responsible for the continuation of your wrongness, which is you. Now, if you have a false love, the very fact that it is false means that you're going to have to go around clinging to it, letting it hug you, and suffering the consequences. Very strange feature of human beings is that they take their daily pains, their angers, their hatreds, their envies, they take these as being something that it is necessary for them to cling to. In short, something that they should love, they must hang on to. May I ask you all a question, please? Do you have 1 ounce of intelligence? I mean 1 ounce. I don't ask for more. You couldn't give it. Do you have 1 ounce of intelligence to see that you're calling your wrongness rightness? Can't you see how it's paining you? How can agony be right? How can inner division, inner conflict be right? Wake up! Your very searching out of what I just told you could be the start of spiritual intelligence, not simply mental movement, which is all you have now. You have no intelligence. Oh, you can build a house or run your business. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about intelligence as a human being here on earth, as a human being, not as a carpenter, not as a businessman, not as a parent, but as a human being who's looked around at this world and said, how horrible. Looked out at this world and seen that everybody has a solution and no one has a solution. And that applies to you. Too bad for you, but you're always talking to yourself. You're always giving yourself counsel, advice, accepting that advice and suffering the consequences of it. What can you do about all this? I'll tell you a brief story to illustrate it for you. Suppose there's a village where everyone is ill. All the people are sick. They don't know what to do about it. Nothing has worked, which is the way this world is. I've described the world, haven't I? The world is sick. Nobody knows what to do about it. Nobody that you've met out in that world anyway. A wise man comes along and he says, ladies and gentlemen, I see your illness. I see how you suffer from being sick. Now I'll tell you what you can do about it. And he, being a wise man, wise in the ways of nature, he says, each one of you as individuals can go out into the woods, not into the hills, and there are certain healing leaves and roots and herbs out in the woods, roots, which if you, listen to this, if you get the right combination of them, put them together, and take them together, they will heal you. Now I'll pause right there to tell you, this is exactly what truth tells you. If you follow the principles truth gives you, you go out and do some work for yourself, you search around, discarding the faults. You do that, eventually you will get a sensing. Just as, say, one or two people did, one man and one woman out of the whole town who really wanted to be healed. The rest, you know what the rest did? They said, I like the way I am. I like being sick. That's exactly what the world says. But one or two people go out. And it's pretty hard climbing, pretty steep hills. And it gets dark. And they make mistakes. Little by little, as they taste the herbs, oh, this is beautiful, listen to it. As they taste one of the herbs the man was talking about, as they taste one of the roots or one of the leaves, it tastes right. Have you ever had that experience, even a small way? You've heard a truthful principle, and you were receptive to it. That is, you worked to get your old egotistical nature out of the way, and it came to you, the truth came to you. It tasted right, didn't it? That's fine, but that's just a start. There's so much more. Because there's so many false healings out there in the woods. They're all mixed up, and you have to learn the difference. So one man goes out there, one woman, let's make it you, goes out there, and you have to discard 500 of the false healings before you find one that's right. But there's no mistaking the one right one. You're so encouraged. Why are you encouraged? Because the knowledge of what is right, of what is healthy, is coming from you, not from the world. From you, you know it's right. Oh, nothing can stop you now, right? You've that one, just that one right one, that one right feeling, that one right sensing that's not a part of the jungle out there. But right in the middle of the jungle in the woods, there was this one right root that felt right, that tasted right. And so you go on to the next one. You keep studying, you apply more principles. You go through a lot of hard work. And in front of your own eyes, the healing begins to take place. You see, among other things, that you're no longer compulsive. You're compulsive now, can't you? There's no way you can stop thinking harmful thoughts, is there? You can't stop yourself. They take you over. Look at those horrible, hard feelings that go through you, hateful feelings. You can't help it. Look, you take this combination of healing, and listen, it begins to take away the compulsion, the habit, and it replaces it with something utterly new, and you know it's you because you know absolutely that it's not a part of the past. It's not even a part of the future either. What it is a part of right now, because look, you feel right now. You feel good. You know what this is called? It's called true spirituality, which is exactly the same thing as true happiness. You want to find real happiness? Now you know how. Now go to work, and you'll find healing.
Vernon's talk connects deeply to this month's theme of building self-trust and confidence by challenging the very foundations of what we usually trust, our conditioned thinking. He suggested much of what we call intuition is actually fear, habit, or social conditioning in disguise. This directly speaks to the reparenting journey. Before we can build genuine self-trust, we have to gently question the internal critic that we've inherited and begin to see where it's been unreliable or perhaps rooted in insecurity and misconception rather than truth. For this week's focus on trusting your intuition, the invitation is not to immediately trust every thought that comes up. Quite the contrary, to question them and to begin to develop an awareness of what is real versus reaction. Reparenting means creating a safer inner environment where observation replaces judgment so that clarity emerges over time. As we begin to be more honest about our automatic patterns, we begin to access a quieter, steadier inner knowing. The kind of intuition that isn't driven by fear but by presence and connection to the true self. One of the books that I've been sharing on the YouTube Shorts that he's written is called Psychopictography. If you search on the YouTube Shorts, you'll see I have some readings. Some lady has done some outstanding readings of, I think, almost the whole book. And much like the work of Brian Withers, he teaches how to think correctly. When I say how to think correctly, not that there is some universal way, a standard of thinking that everyone must use, but there are some patterns and habits of mind that are just more beneficial for yourself as an organism. And if you've grown up in dysfunctional family situation, you probably missed a lot of those lessons. And without correct thought patterns, cognitive distortions, losing track on your ability to see when you're catastrophizing, all of these different kind of ways that your thoughts could go amok and make your life more difficult than it needs to be. This book is an excellent, profound resource at really opening up. I cannot overstate how profound this book is. Much like the work of Brian Withers, it is very direct. It tells you in very practical, exercise-driven ways how to begin working with your thinking to think in a different way. This is the knowledge that so many people have needed. Specifically, if I think about those who are in the ACA program, now that I've moved on a bit from that, I see where people get stuck. And this is one of the most painful and difficult areas where people get stuck. And so again, that's why I've created this project to start pulling together those resources so that people can find what's actually going to help them. And so I hope that you've enjoyed this talk. We've only listened to a portion of it. So as always, you can find the link in the show notes and listen to it in its entirety. He has many, many, many lectures available on YouTube. So I highly recommend that you check it out. As we go and look at the journal prompts before we leave, number 1, when I say I trust my intuition, what inner voice am I actually listening to? Fear, habit, or something calmer and more clear to me? Or perhaps something else? Number 2, in what situations do I notice myself reacting automatically instead of responding with awareness? And number 3, what would it look like to relate to my thoughts with curiosity instead of immediate belief or obedience? That's it for today. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself, and please do be well. And thanks again if you've been around for episode 700 now. We're making our way. Definitely want to get you episode 1000, and we'll see what we're going to do there. But I really just love this process. I love it for myself that I'm growing so much, learning so much, finding so many different resources, really making breakthroughs in my understanding. Of course, there's always work to do and things to improve on and to further develop. But I'm so happy at how far we've come together and how far I've come on my own from where I was and when I began this journey. And so I'm looking forward to the next few 100 episodes, and I'll see you guys around. Take care. Welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please find a place where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you most comfortable today. Just take some time to listen to yourself. Next, be sure that you're taking time to be with your breath and to connect more fully with your body. Don't be disturbed or overwhelmed by your thoughts. Simply allow them to pass. Just observe them. Do not engage with your thoughts. Only be mindful of them passing, as if they are leaves drifting down top of a river. Use this time to connect with yourself. Whatever time of day you are listening to this, namaste.